What's an unwritten rule in your household that would seem bizarre to outsiders? In our house, we celebrate the worst day of the year. Not ironically, we genuinely commemorate it with cake, presents, and time off work. It started when I was 7, and my dad lost his job the same week our basement flooded, destroying most of our possessions. My parents sat us down and announced we were having a party. My brother and I were confused as they hung streamers in our half-empty living room. Today is officially the worst day, my dad declared, cutting into a lopsided cake my mom had baked. And if this is the worst, everything else will be better. I thought it was just to make us feel better. But the next year, when my brother broke his arm and our car died in the same week, my parents consulted their calendar solemnly. Is it worse than last April? My mom asked. We all agreed it was. So April 18th became our new worst day, complete with celebrations. As teenagers, we were mortified by the tradition. When I was 15, my first boyfriend broke up with me at school. I came home sobbing and found my parents debating whether this qualified as a new worst day. It's not even close to when grandma died, my brother argued. I was furious they were ranking my heartbreak until my dad handed me a small wrapped box containing a silver bracelet. Not a worst day gift, he explained. Just a reminder that you've survived worse. In college, my roommates were baffled when my family called singing Happy Worst Day after my financial aid fell through. I couldn't explain how comforting it felt. The tradition faced its greatest test when my mom was diagnosed with cancer. During a particularly brutal round of chemo, she looked at the calendar weekly. Mark it down, she whispered. This is the new worst day. My dad refused. No, we're saving that distinction, he said firmly. This is just a bad day. The worst is behind us. But after she died, he finally conceded. We had a small ceremony, just the three of us, revising our family calendar. Years later, when my daughter was born with a heart defect requiring immediate surgery, I found myself in the hospital hallway calling my dad. I need to know, I said, voice shaking. Is this worse than when mom died? There was a long pause. Different kind of worst, he finally said. But no. That night, holding my tiny daughter after her successful surgery, I whispered our strange family rule to her. We celebrate the worst because it means we survived it. My husband thought it was morbid when I insisted on commemorating the anniversary of her surgery. But last year, when we lost our home in a fire, my daughter, now 7, asked seriously if this was the new worst day. We stood in the charred remains of our living room, surrounded by blackened walls, and I realized we were all still there, together, close, I said. But remember mommy's rule. She nodded solemnly. The worst already happened, so this is just a bad day. We ordered pizza and ate it sitting on the sidewalk. My husband finally understood when he saw her giggling despite everything. Last week, my father passed away peacefully. At his memorial, my brother and I disagreed about whether to designate a new worst day. But we found instructions in Dad's will for his worst day memorial, complete with his favorite ice cream and strict orders against any somber music. The tradition continues. My daughter's calendar already has 3 worst days marked. She insists on baking cakes for each anniversary. People think we're strange, celebrating our tragedies. They don't understand it's never about the tragedy. It's about still being here to mark another year beyond it.